Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and Israel has gone to war again with the Palestinians, and this time round it started by Hamas. The Hamas group, along with the Islamic Jihad, that has combined their forces and launched a surprise attack again on Yom Kippur. The last time Israel got surprised, because the Israelis don't really get surprised very much. But when they get surprised, they really got surprised, and they got surprised by Hamas. So massive shelling was reported across Israel, and early in the morning, they woke up to sirens, and rockets was exploding um, all over Israel. Pretty much many places. So according to the Israeli Defense Forces, they basically got bombarded by literally most of South Israel. So it's quite serious. And according to Hamas, they reportedly opened fire more than 5,000 rockets in the very first initial strikes. So, but this was not really acknowledged by the Israeli side. The Israeli only say they detected 2,000. So, which means 3,000 of them actually just went through without Israel seeing this strikes. So after the initial strikes, Hamas declared war. So they declared that they launched the Operation El Qasr Storm. So Hamas say that this attack is driven by Israel's escalation against the Palestinian in the West Bank, and and as well in Jerusalem, as well as against the Palestinians that is in the Israeli prisons. And I can actually also corroborate that this is in fact probably true, because Israel has been raiding Palestinian positions and places, and as well as the refugee camps, and has been constantly arresting people for some reasons. And of course, nobody knows exactly what the Israeli is doing, whether these people have crimes or whatnot. But it's definitely constant escalation or provocations against the Palestinians, and this, according to Mohammed Dief, the Hamas military commander. I think he's the commander of the Al Qassam brigades. He said that this is the day of the greatest battle to end the last occupation on earth, and it definitely pisses off Zelensky, because the biggest occupation in the world is actually Russia occupying East Ukraine. This, and definitely this is nowhere close to the greatest battle in this world, because this is no Russia and Ukraine will have a lot to say about that. So, but basically, he announced the start of the operation in the broadcast on Hamas medias, and calling Palestinians everywhere to fight. And this also coincide with the uh, the mosque across Gaza, announcing through their loud hailers to to encourage them to go to war. And so this is quite unprecedented, according to some reports. They say that usually this kind of call to action or call to battle don't come in loud hailers. They only go through internet, or social media or whatnot. So this is something definitely different from usual. And so the according to the star.com, they also reported further saying that Mohammed Dief talks about the Israeli raids inside the West Bank cities over the past year, the violence at El Qasr, which is also Mount Dome, and I think Temple Mount. And basically, this was also quite a very big, significant incident that literally makes very little sense to people like me that is very far away, and watching it, like, why are some of these activists, Israeli activists, that is able to penetrate through, and it's just a lot of weird stuff happening in Ukraine. So so enough is enough, DF mentioned, and they say that this morning attack is only the start of the Operation El Qasr Storm, and he calls on Palestinians across, even on the West Bank, to join the fight, which is clearly a very bad idea for the people in West Bank, because that's kind of dumb. So anyway, Islamic Jihad, very excited. They also, announced that they are joining the attacks, and they already captured a few of these Israeli soldiers. So the head of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad movement said that the they have they have determination to continue to resist against the Israeli regime, and they will not retreat until they achieve a victory against the occupying regime, which is clearly a false statement. Is a lie. They will always retreat because they can't possibly win, so they will retreat. So no, yeah, this is just lying. But anyway, so they criticized the West Bank-based Palestinian authorities for being influenced by the US and Israel, and saying that it's an example of whatever is happening across the entire Arab world. He said he said that Israel kills Palestinians with American weapons, and the Palestinian Authority acts on Israeli decisions to arrest fellow Palestinians. So no, so basically calling the West Bank people to rise up doesn't really work, because Islamic Jihad is basically also against fellow Palestinians for making their own divisions for their own welfare. So anyway, and they also slammed the normalization deals between Arab governments and Israel, saying that the Arab regimes are submitting to the Zionist project, falling in line with the enemy. So also then lamented about the people signing the Oslo Accord, but nobody really follows it, and I wonder why, man. So Israel reacted, declaring war on Hamas. They say that this is war, or at least Netanyahu say it is war, and basically launches Operation Iron Swords. So Israel said that the Iran-backed group has declared war on them, and they already confirmed that the Israeli army is fighting with the militants in multiple Israeli towns and military bases near Gaza, and he claims that our enemy will pay a price, the type of which it has never known. We are in a war and we will win it. And I shall see. I'm not sure how much more Israel can do without going into war crimes. Or without doing ethnic cleansing. So let's see, what kind of price Israel can throw on the Hamas or throw on the Palestinian people. So this Operation Iron Sword was announced, and it was reported by Times of Israel as well, and they started striking Hamas target in Gaza, as well as in Gaza. So basically this was already mentioned earlier already. So the defense minister, Yoav Gallant, basically emphasized that their country will win this war, and noted Hamas made a grave mistake by launching a surprise attack on Israel. So make a grave mistake by starting a war against the state of Israel, and the soldiers are fighting an enemy at all infiltration sites, and Israel will win this war. So of course, no one will doubt. Like, no one will ever doubt Israel will win against Hamas. Like, no, it's just like, no, I never doubted, Russia will win against Ukraine. But yeah, I mean, the idea of Hamas launching the strike definitely have something deeper than this. Hamas know they can't win against Israel. For God's sake, Egypt and Syria on Yom Kippur War, they launched a combined attack with the most advanced Soviet weaponry, and they did not win against Israel. That was surprise and was taken a lot of casualties and destructions, and yet Israel bounced back. So a militant type of group, or terrorist type of group, or rebel type of group, guerrilla type of group like Hamas is unlikely to ever win against Israel on the one-to-one basis, on the face-to-face basis. It's not going to happen. So which is why, I want to highlight that there is more to this thing. Why Hamas went into, taking this this decision but it was a very, very interesting operation. They launched basically a combined arms offensive. They have a naval amphibious operation, airborne operation. They have a multiple, or coordinated strike, massive bombardments, infiltration, breaching of fences, and commando raids. Oh my freaking god! This is the most organized Palestinian operation that I ever seen or read about. So this is very, 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 very impressive. But that doesn't change the fact how they didn't really get very far. So anyway, Hamas also adopted a lot of Israeli people. So this is the whole point of this surprise attack. They Not the whole point, but one of the major primary objective. They are holding a large number of prisoners, Israeli prisoners, including senior officers, and they will be used for prisoner exchange to free Palestinian detainees in Israeli jails. So this is according to Saleh al-Rouri, a top Hamas official that told Al Jazeera. So according to him, Saleh al-Rouri, basically, he's also the deputy chief of Hamas political bureau. He said that they managed to kill and capture many Israeli soldiers, and what they already have in their hands, they believe they is able to allow them to release all the prisoners. So the longer the fighting continues, the higher the number of prisoners will become, according to him, which I think he's a bit overly optimistic. And so my question would then be, what if Israel just decided to just kill off all the prisoners? Then what? You kill off all these Israeli prisoners, then what? So it really depends on how much of an asshole Israel want to become. If they want to be really an asshole and really don't care about the human life, they can actually go. They can really make Hamas run out of options. And yeah, so very early on, there is already the first major casualty on the Israeli side. I want to make my face bigger. Let me wait. Make my face bigger. Yep. So the first major casualties is already a mayor of the Sha'ar HaNegev region. So this mayor of the regional council was killed because he actually went to fight this infiltration himself. So he went to defend the town during the attack, and he was killed. So very heroic in that sense. And it is not it seems very interesting because I did read also quite a few that the different towns or villages, they do have their own some kind of like organization, local organization where they try to fight and defend their own town. So that's very interesting in that sense. And according to all this, the Al-Qasr flood actually is proceeding according to plan, according to the Palestinian group. So according to Hamas, the spokesman Abu Ubaidah. So this is one of the breaches that you can see in this picture. They state that this operation to hold Israel accountable for the aggression against the Al-Qasr mosque and the prisoners is working. And they said this is the historic opportunity to bring the occupation to its knees. And then they call for the Palestinians in West Bank and inside Israel to engage in battle, which is of course clearly not going to happen. People are not stupid. So they attack enemy sites, airports and military installation with rockets. Clearly, no, it's just random firing. I don't think the rockets are actually that accurate to target specific sites. So interesting statement coming out from the Palestinian authorities is the President Mahmoud Abbas. So he said that Palestinian people have the right to defend themselves against facing terrorism posed by settlers and the Israeli forces. So it's very interesting why he suddenly made this statement, because he have actually zero control or power in Gaza. He basically controls only the West Bank. The entire Gaza is actually controlled by Hamas, and he actually has no power there. It's like the Lord of the Ring, the quote, the meme, you have no power here. No, it's basically that. So he was chairing an emergency leadership meeting with several Palestinian civilians and security officers, and during the meeting, he said that it's important to provide protection for the Palestinian people and direct them to provide everything assistance, blah 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 blah. It's basically kind of he is actually. So I tell you what he's trying to say. What he's trying to do. He is getting outshined by the Hamas because he wasn't really actually doing anything when the Israeli is arresting people out of the blue, and allowing the Temple Mount to be infiltrated or so-called desecrated, and he really didn't do much. And now that Hamas actually took upon themselves to show that they are the true representative of the Palestinian people, he have to appear more gung-ho. He have to appear more like he is actually just as good as the Hamas people in protecting the Palestinians' rights. So that's why he's saying something like this. This is very out of the norm, because it's like it was never a thing from him, I would say. So, and a lot of accusation was pointed at Iran, as the main perpetrator of this this entire operation. And this doesn't help. It doesn't help when the Iran's advisor, this guy here, basically his name Yahya Rahim Safavi, basically I think he's a high-ranking officer of some sort. So he congratulated the Palestinian fighters for launching the biggest attack on Israel in years. He said, we congratulate them, and so-called Iran or him will stand by the Palestinian fighters until the liberation of Palestine and Jerusalem. So, and then of course the state TV in Iran shows the parliament members rising from their seats and chant death to Israel, and Palestinian is victorious. Israel will be destroyed. Like some kids in the kindergarten, but this doesn't help the image that Israel was suspecting that this might be organized by Iran, and this statement just maybe corroborates it, maybe. So then what more worries comes is in the Israel's security perspective, where more forces enter this battle, because they got surprised, they basically got caught out in the Gaza border region, and everybody is looking into Lebanon. Will Lebanon do something? Will the Hezbollah actually do something? So Hezbollah basically only congratulates against. I'm not sure. Maybe it's an Arab thing. So I'm not very familiar. It's a different cultural thing. So so they do like to congratulate before the thing was even done, which is actually a bad habit. You only congratulate when the thing is done. So you don't congratulate, congratulations for eating. No, but you only just put the first spoon of food inside your mouth. And like, congratulations for eating so well. That is kind of silly. You wait for people to finish the food first, then you congratulate them for having a good meal. So, but anyway, they like to congratulate so they congratulated the resisting Palestinian people and the heroic fighters of the Palestinian factions and their dear brothers in the Al-Qassam Brigade. Then the Islamic Resistance Movement, Hamas, for the wide-ranging, divinely supported heroic operation, promising complete victory. And clearly, I'm quite sure even the Hamas people read this statement, they also roll their eyes. It's like, talk is free, they just anyhow say. So, yeah, they say this triumphant operation is a decisive response to the ongoing crimes of the occupation and continuous violation of the sanctity, honor, and dignities, and the renewed confirmation of the will of the Palestinian people, blah, 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 and send a message to the Arab Islamic world and international community, especially those seeking normalization with Israel. So again, this seems like the recurring theme that keep coming up. That the main concern, actually, this entire operation, this entire this storm thing, El Casa storm thing, flood. Well, because some translated the word as storm, some translated the word as flood. So it's the reason seems to be more consistently about the normalization of the Arab states with Israel. That seems to be the more recurring issue that is actually being raised. And basically the Hezbollah will just closely follow and monitor the conditions. Although they did show off that they have direct contact with the leadership of all these Palestinian groups. Yeah, so that's the Hezbollah. So Hezbollah is just going to sit on the sideline and just clap their hands. So how about the Yemeni Houthis? So the Houthis, this Supreme Political Council, basically give their blessings to the Al Qasr flood operation. So the council affirms the right of the Palestinian and resistant faction to combat Israeli occupation, and they just iterate their support. So that's all. That's pretty much it. Then of course they have to do this this thing that they must do. If not, they cannot sleep. They praise the unity of the Palestinian position, the people, and then about the full restoration of the rights, liberation, Holy Land, blah 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 blah. And then of course to boycott Americans and Israeli goods. So yeah, very very inspiring speech from this Houthis. Then we come to more of these more interesting statements. Qatar foreign ministry. Qatar is very far away and very safe from Israel. Then basically say that they express deep concern and that they want everyone to halt the escalation and exercise restraint, but Israel is the only one at fault here. So they say Israel alone is responsible for the ongoing escalation due to the ongoing violation of the rights of the Palestinian people, repeated raids on the Al Qasr mosque, and they say that Israel needs to stop the violation of international law. So yeah, so that's the Qatar's position, and apparently this position is not new. Not only them. Saudi Arabia basically also seems to say about the same thing. So Saudi Arabia, of course, every country must say this word, immediate end of the escalation or the fighting. But no, all these are just words. They just say for fun. They know it doesn't change anything. They have to say it just to show that they are humane, and basically, so Saudi Arabia basically say that they have issued repeated warnings of a possible escalation in the light of ongoing occupation and the deprivation of the Palestinian people of their rights, as well as deliberate provocation against their sanctities. Basically is referring to the Al Qasr mosque again. So yeah, then they proceeded to say that the international community did not fulfill their responsibility to the two-state solution. And however, not everyone is against Israel. India actually also put out a statement. So a lot of countries put out statements. I only picked a few that I think is relevant. India Modi basically say that they stand in solidarity with Israel, and I find this very very interesting because India is currently undergoing this cultural revolution of sorts. They are becoming more and more Hindu-centric within India, and they are pitting themselves against the Muslims in a way, because they want to put Hinduism as the core religion, and this siding with Israel might have a religious tint to it. So because no Muslim countries will side with Israel, that's 100% for sure. So which is why it's like there are certain countries, of course, they will also side with Palestine, even though they are not Islamic countries or Muslims. And India picked the side of Israel. But Qatar is not. And Qatar is pretty much brought into BRICS by India, if I'm not mistaken. So there's this very interesting uh, clash in terms of the opinions about the Palestinian people. Um, so then we have Zelensky, which is very, very interesting. Zelensky's basically say that this is appalling news, and he say that the terrorists will be eliminated. He believe, and he said that the terror must not be given any single chance around the world. And basically, they are trying to say Russia, but I feel like he said a bit too much. So he said that no, terror users commits a crime against the world, and whoever sponsors terror commits a crime against the world, and the world must stand united, solidarity together, so that no terror will not be able to conquer or destroy life anywhere. Israel's right to defense is beyond question, and this is shocking news. So, what's the implication? Zelensky is saying all this because they believe that this attack against Israel is sponsored or organized by Iran, and Israel also has been secretly trying to provide weaponry or some kind of aid, in ways that to Ukraine, in ways that no, they will not be compromised and piss off Russia. So Zelensky himself is a Jew, so he also need to speak positively about Israel, generally speaking, and of course to make sure that it doesn't look like Nazis. So no, of course they must side with Israel. But the kind of thing that he say basically alienates the entire Muslim world away from Ukraine, and yeah, it's just bizarre. Like he says a bit too much. I mean, you can just condemn the violence and everything, but he went a bit too far. And yeah, this is just interesting. So anyway, of course we have to talk about America. Biden basically spoke to Netanyahu, and Joe Biden said that US is in complete support of Israel, and they will be try to give Israel whatever it needs to defend itself. They will ensure that Israel will has what it needs, according to the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. And yeah, I wonder what is United States can still give to Israel. Because they gave so much to Ukraine. So, and then I thought America is also running out of budget. So they're running out of budget, defense budget, and then they give all the money and weaponry to Ukraine, and then now they say that they will give anything Israel needs to Israel. Yeah, the maths just works out. And of course, Russia's position is very usual, very boring. Basically, call both sides to ceasefire, renounce violence, and restrain, and then also, and of course, sensible stuff like start a negotiation process that aims to establish comprehensive, lasting, long-awaited peace with the help of international community, and it cannot be solved by force, by only by diplomatic means. Good advice for themselves in relation to anything about Ukraine. But no, of course, they will not take their own advice. So the war continues in Ukraine. So so when we come back again to this thought, what is this operation all about? Hamas clearly knows they are not going to succeed. In fact, they did not go very far. They are basically just outside of Gaza, and the Israeli forces is already surrounding them and pushing back, and they are hitting them with airstrikes all over Gaza. And based on the live footages that I just saw prior to this recording, within the past 2 hours, there was still explosions, there was still rockets being fired from Gaza into Israel. So, but this is not going to go anywhere. We clearly, anyone that even supports Palestine would know that this military solution is not possible, because no one in the region can beat Israel. But this operation forces Israel's hand. Israel will have to hit back very hard against the Hamas, because they need to show to the internal political and the scene. They have to show to Israeli themselves that no, this government, this leadership is willing to protect the Israelis against the so-called terrorists. So they will hit back very hard. And Netanyahu himself already put it very, very blunt. He said that the Hamas will pay a price of the type that they never know exists. So this is already a statement of intent by Netanyahu, by Israel. And this is going to put a lot of problems with the geopolitical scene, the diplomatic scene for Israel. Saudi Arabia and Israel are already, trying to do some deals, some negotiation, and there's some rumors about Saudi Arabia even willing to output more oil to reduce the oil price, with the intention to have better relationship with Israel. And this is definitely out of the window by now, because no one dares to do anything within the Muslim world, the Islamic world, or the Arab world. No one would dare to do anything with Israel right now, because you will just become a target. You just put a target on yourself within this Arab world. So this operation is deliberately to be shocking, is deliberately forcing Israel to react very harshly against the Palestinian people. And this is actually the very sad thing, because if you can see all these things, then you will know that the people living in Gaza, they are just pawns. I'm not talking about the militant groups. I'm not talking about Hamas. I'm not talking about the Qassam brigades or the Islamic Jihad. No, all these people who are in all these groups, all these militant groups, these people, they are doing very well. Put it that way. This is what they want. Peace with Israel devoid them of purpose, because their purpose is to fight for jihad, to chase these Jews out of their ancestral lands. That's the aim. But the people within Gaza is the pawns. They are being used. There's nothing they can do about it, because if it's really that huge, then we probably already saw millions of this Gaza settlers just rush out. Like some Lord of the Ring, Orc rush. No, it's not the case. It's the raids are still basically the militants that is doing it, and the people within Gaza just braces themselves for the unavoidable or inevitable Israeli airstrikes. They know the airstrikes are going to come, because every time Hamas do something, or Islamic Jihad do something, they know the airstrikes are coming. Then they're just bracing for it. They have no choice. They can't really make any decisions. There's no government. There's no elections. There is no way out for the Palestinian living in Gaza. And that's the sad thing. So, and now, this time round, again, they will be used as pawn. Their death will be, any civilians that was accidentally or unavoidably killed by the Israeli airstrike will be used by Hamas as example of Israeli being evil. And then, they will just be pawned away like this. Just pawns. They are just pawns. And then they will be used to plaster across all of international media, so that no Arabs or Muslim countries dare to have diplomatic relationship with Israel. So that is the main aim. And of course, talking about all these prisoners and whatnot, maybe it worked out, maybe it will not. But it's just part of the plan to force Israel into doing something very, very nasty. And the feeling I get is that Israel will react in a very, very nasty way. And that will basically destroy the Abraham Accords. They will destroy all these hard-earned diplomatic victories Israel have with the Middle East. All these relationships will be gone. So we shall see. There's nothing, and not just that. This is just the geopolitical part, but this conflict, this new war, plays into the hand of Netanyahu. Every wartime leader usually get a political boost. In fact, not the boost may be very artificial. It may be people just want no leadership change while they are in a state of war or in a state of tension, because that makes the country weaker. So with this battle, these wars, Netanyahu will strengthen his control in the country, and politically this plays into his hands, and this also plays into his more maverick policies, where I know it corroborates what he believed, that no, this Palestinians need to be suppressed. And all his policies over the past year or two is correct. To arrest more of these potential terrorists. And that's what it plays literally into his needs. Or if not, he will be voted out in the next election. So all this, you might even say that they are all in cahoot. Hamas and Netanyahu, they are all in cahoot. They all wanted this. It could be the case. So anyway, it's just a sad truth. But ultimately, I do not think this war is going to last very long. It wouldn't last more than a week. It's going to be very similar to the situation half a year ago where I reported, about one of these groups. What is that group called? I forgot. It's not here. Never mind. Half a year ago, there was another conflict in this region. I also made a report about it. It ended within 3 days. So it's probably going to be that case. Yeah, because I don't think Hamas can go anywhere. Anyway, thank you for watching, and do press the like button, subscribe. Do let me know what you think in the comments, and hopefully I will do a sit rep for this, and I'll put it on the DPA War channel, and I'll see you in the next update.